All your sensitive and private data is probably on this device, and you carry it everywhere you go. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 10 ways to make sure your iPhone is secure, from passcode to Find My, how to disable Face ID in a pinch, whether you should turn on advanced data protection, and more. Number 1, you can likely unlock your iPhone with Touch ID or Face ID, but because of some weird laws here in the US, you should probably know how to disable it and force a passcode. This law was passed that states unlocking a cell phone with a passcode is illegal. You can't be asked to do that by authorities, but they might ask you to unlock with Face ID or Touch ID. But you can quickly force a passcode to be used rather than Face ID by either clicking the side button 5 times or holding the side button and the volume up button. If you hold it for about 5 seconds, it'll ask if you want to restart. But you can press cancel, and now it's going to ask you for that passcode. And even if I try to swipe up to unlock with my Face ID, it won't unlock. It also works if you click the side button 5 times quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll see your phone locks. It goes to that same screen, but you can press cancel, and now it's going to force the passcode again. Number 2, set a good passcode for your device, not a 4-digit number, and definitely not the same number 4 times in a row. I've seen so many people just do 4 zeros on their iPhone, and that's just not secure. I would do at least a 6-digit, or you can even do an alphanumeric passcode, meaning you can use letters and numbers, or even an entire phrase. To change that passcode setting, go to the settings on your iPhone, and then go down to Face ID and Passcode. Now there's a few settings here we're going to adjust, but if you want to make your passcode longer or use the alphanumeric, go down to Change Passcode. You'll have to enter your current passcode, and then you'll be prompted to enter a new one. But if you see the large numbers or you want to change the kind of passcode you have, tap Password Options, and you can go up to 6-digit, custom numeric, so longer than 6 digits, or alphanumeric, which gives you that full keyboard. Also, a little bonus tip, when you're entering your manual passcode to unlock your phone, make sure it's not easily visible behind you. I've been in concerts and sports games where someone's just holding up their iPhone and entering their passcode, and hundreds of people behind them can see exactly what they're doing. Not so secure. Number 3, let's go back to the Face ID and passcode settings. And if you want to make sure if someone's stolen your phone and doesn't have your passcode, they only get a certain number of tries to get into your device, at the very bottom of Face ID and passcode settings, you can choose Erase Data when there's been 10 passcode mistakes. Now I have kids, and you probably know you shouldn't enable this if you have kids. They will input your passcode multiple times, and then your device will be wiped. But if you're traveling and you want to make sure sensitive data gets wiped from your device if it gets in the wrong hands, you could enable that Erase Data setting. But a setting I think is even more important is your display lock. This setting is under Display and Brightness, and then go down to Auto Lock. Now I have it on Never right now because I'm filming this video, but typically I have this on 30 seconds. That means after 30 seconds of no activity on the phone, not touching it, the screen is going to turn off and automatically be locked, and you'll need the passcode or Face ID. If you leave this on 5 minutes or never, and you forget to manually lock your screen with the side button, that means for 5 minutes or maybe longer, someone has complete access to your device. Also, the longer screen is on when you're not using it, the more battery is going to drain. So I typically do 30 seconds or maybe a minute at the longest, but I would go for those shorter times. And by the way, if you want some battery saving tips for iPhone, I did an entire video on that too. I'll link it above and down in the description. Now, another key setting is what's available on your iPhone when it's locked. So let's go back down to the Face ID and passcode. And if you scroll down, you'll see a list of toggles here. This is allow access when locked. For instance, the control center. You can swipe down even when the phone is locked. Live activities like sports games or Starbucks and DoorDash, things like that. I choose to disable some of these things, like the voice assistant, replying with a message, returning missed calls. This way, if someone has your device and all they see is the lock screen, they can't make a call or message someone without unlocking the device. Now, I do allow for certain things like home control and lock screen widgets. Just keep in mind, whatever toggles you have on in this list, someone can access even when your phone is locked. Also, one other bonus security tip, above that, if you have an Apple Watch, there's an option to unlock your phone when you're wearing your Apple Watch. If this is toggled on, that means even without Face ID or Touch ID, someone could unlock your phone just being in proximity. For instance, I'll lock my device here, face it away from me, and if I tap to turn on the screen, because my Apple Watch is nearby, and I can just unlock my phone, and I felt a tap on my wrist because my Apple Watch is letting me know it unlocked my iPhone. But that could mean if someone grabbed your phone and is still in proximity, they could swipe up and unlock your phone if your Apple Watch is in range. Now, sometimes I toggle this on if I'm just home and I'm not going anywhere, but when I'm traveling, I tend to turn that off. Now, another security measure I would recommend enabling is stolen device protection. When this is on, you can choose away from familiar locations or always, and that means if you want to make a change to your iCloud account, like change your Apple ID password, there's going to be a delay and you're going to have to wait 60 minutes to change that setting. You can choose away from familiar locations, and then when you're home or at work, you'll be able to adjust those settings freely. But again, if you're traveling or going on a trip, I would tap always. This way, if someone gets your device and your passcode, you still have a little bit of time, like an hour, to maybe wipe this device so it doesn't get in the wrong hands. Remember, if someone has your iPhone and your passcode, they can change your Apple ID password just with what they have. That would lock you out of your iCloud photos, your iCloud backups, and that includes passwords if you save them in iCloud passwords. And while this is not true of the advanced data protection we're going to talk about in a minute, for most people, I would say turn on stolen device protection. Number 7, you can actually password protect certain apps. For instance, maybe the YouTube app. Maybe you want to lock it down, so Face ID has to scan before that app even opens. Well, you can tap Require Face ID on that app, and then you can choose Require Face ID, and hiding will remove it from your iPhone's app library and home screens. And when you hide it, that will go into a specific folder in the app library. I'm not going to choose to hide it right now. I just want to enable Face ID in order to unlock it. You'll authenticate with Face ID, and now anytime you try to open that particular app, it's going to try to scan. If it can't scan your face, you'll be prompted to enter your iPhone passcode, and then you can unlock it. Then, if you want to disable it, just long press on that app again and choose Don't Require Face ID. Little bonus tip here, if you use Apple Notes, you can actually lock certain notes. This way you'll have to authenticate with Face ID or your iPhone passcode to read it. Go to any Apple Note, tap the 3 dots, and then choose Lock. This doesn't work if you've tagged the note or maybe shared it with someone else, but for most personal notes that are not shared with others, you can protect it with your iPhone passcode, or you can create a separate passcode, which is even more secure. So you need to know what specific passcode you set right here in order to unlock this note. Number 8, if you've lost your device or you've stolen it, Find My is a great option. And thankfully, you can log into Find My from any web browser on any device. You do need to have your iCloud login though, and another Apple device to do that secondary authentication. It could also text your phone number, but if your phone is stolen, then that's kind of moot. Either way, write down your Apple ID email and password, like physically write it down, put it in a safe place, like a safe, and you also get recovery codes when you set your password and 2-factor for your Apple ID. Keep those recovery codes safe as well, because you can use that to get into your account. And here I can locate my iPhone, but I can also erase it remotely or enable additional protection by locking the device. I don't want to do it right now because then it gets annoying to actually use the phone and you have to wait a while. But if you just can't get to it or maybe your device is stolen, you can erase it from the Find My website, again, on any computer. Number 9. Now this is a setting not everyone should enable, but advanced data protection for your iCloud account is pretty powerful. Here in Settings, tap your name at the top, tap iCloud in this menu, and if you scroll to the bottom, you'll see Advanced Data Protection. If you tap that, this is something you can enable or turn off, and this adds another layer of protection to your data that's in iCloud. This has less to do with the physical device in your hands, but more with the data that you have in your iMessages, your iCloud Drive, and more. Advanced data protection adds that second layer of encryption where not even Apple could get into it if you lost all your devices. And that's why you need to be careful. If you only have a single Apple device, maybe you don't own any other iPad or Mac and the iPhone is all you have, I would not recommend turning this on. If you lose your only Apple device, or maybe you forget your passcode, you can't log in, there's not going to be any way to get to your iCloud data. That includes your photos that might be saved in iCloud Photos. Now, I have this enabled because I have multiple Apple devices, different Macs, different iPads, and they're all logged in. I have those passcodes, so I feel pretty safe even if I lose access to this iPhone. And this layer of protection is really only if you're concerned that some government agency or country is going to try and crack the encryption for your iCloud data. So again, this could be a little messy if you only have one Apple device or you forget your passcode. So only enable this if you're really sure you want to do it and you have multiple Apple devices logged into your account. And number 10, good security and good practice, back up your devices. Now you can back them up to your Mac physically, but honestly, most of us are probably not going to do that. So go to iCloud, make sure that iCloud backup is enabled for your devices. You'll see I'm backing up this iPhone, it happens over cellular, and it'll show me the other devices that I have backing up to my iCloud. Yes, if you do this, you're probably going to need to pay for iCloud storage. Just do it. Even if you're just backing up your phone or maybe it's just your photos, I think it's worth it Makes it easy to restore if you lose your iPhone or it gets dropped in a lake or you lose it at the beach. And if you're in a place where you lose your iPhone or it gets erased, now you at least have a backup that you can restore to a new device. Also, in these iCloud settings, go to the Save to iCloud, and I have everything turned on for this because I want to make sure to save everything, but Photos is probably the most important thing to you, so make sure that syncing this device to your iCloud photo library is enabled and those photos are getting backed up. Now, if you don't want to pay for iCloud, but you do want to at least back up your photos, there are a couple other options. If you pay for Google One, you can use the Google Photos app on your iPhone, and this will actually sync and back up your photos to your Google account. It does a pretty good job of it. I actually do it as kind of a secondary backup for my photos, so you can do that. Or if you're an Amazon Prime customer, you can also back up with Amazon. I believe it's unlimited storage for pretty high quality photos, especially if you pay for Prime. So at least back up your photos there. All right, that was 10 tips to make sure your device and data is secure, but I'm gonna give you 2 more bonus tips. So number 11, please use a password app. There's actually a great password app built into your Apple devices right now, and this is how you wanna be creating and saving logins for different websites, your bank, all of that. Basically, if you can remember your passwords for all your accounts, they're not good passwords. Probably not secure, just don't do that. So instead, use Apple Passwords. It creates secure passwords. You can save them to your phone. They sync to your other Apple devices over iCloud. And the standalone password app has actually gotten pretty good. You can even create shared groups with other people, share logins with your friends, family, and other trusted contacts. At least use the Passwords app. And final bonus tip, if you're ever in a situation where you need to contact emergency services, but you need to do it discreetly, there's actually an option for that called Emergency SOS here on your phone. If you tap that, you can call emergency services without even looking. Enabling this means you can hold the side button and either volume button and just keep holding it, and it will eventually call emergency services. You can even enable call quietly if you want to be able to do it without anyone around you knowing. You can also enable the 5 button presses for emergency SOS. And again, this is a way to discreetly contact emergency services, like dialing 911 here in the States, but doing it discreetly and without looking. So those are 10 plus ways to secure your iPhone and your data. Be sure to subscribe to the channel before you go and hit that like button. Lots of iPhone tips like hidden gestures and ways to be productive. I'll put a couple of those videos up here. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll answer those personally. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.